going on, guys? Hope you guys are having a decent Wednesday so far. It's super hot out over here. And we're a little bit early as normal. So like every other night, give you guys a few extra minutes to roll into the room. Incognito, Jessie, Chris, what's going on, guys? Welcome, welcome. Happy Wednesday. I need to get an AC in this room. I'm burning up. Not literally, but I will be by the end of the video. The back of my shirt will 100% be wet by the end of this video. And I literally just got out of the shower. And yeah, it's hot. Goes from feet and feet of snow to blazing heat. So I'm drinking a freezing cold protein shake. I have an ice cold water over there waiting for me. Sorry, Kim. That's what I knew that was you, and that's what I meant to say when I said incognito. I meant to say Kim. My bad. So as you guys see, the title is Positivity. Power of positivity. That is so important for the journey that you guys are heading down. It's so important in life in general, but most of us don't have a grasp on actual positivity, and in situations like this, it can become so important and imperative. What's up, Keith? Had a nice phone call with Keith today. That's actually what gave me the idea for this video. So, Keith, you get the credit of the video. Positive praise for Keith. Jessie has not called me yet, and he knows he needs to, so hopefully he'll watch these videos, but, cannot beg a horse to drink water. So Jessie doesn't want to call me. I'm not going to bug him about it or push him or, try to twist his arm into doing it. We've all got issues. We've all got problems. And if we don't want to ask for help and we don't think we need anybody else's help, sometimes we just have to learn the hard way. So Jessie doesn't have to call me if he doesn't feel comfortable. When he gets to prison, he'll be sharing information in there. And hopefully he'll have the tools that he needs. What's up, Todd? What's up, Robbie? I'm growing it out. I want to grow a fro, even though I can only grow a front fro because the back is bald. But the beautiful thing about YouTube is I do not have a camera on the back of my head. So as far as you guys know, got this beautiful head of hair with this giant bald spot right here. It's not really bald, but it's fucking thin. Juan Carlos. Hello, Juan Carlos, the snake man. If the emails... the emails are monitored, but we're not going to discuss anything when you're in RDAP or when you're in prison at all. That would be anything that would be considered shady or unethical. Everything you and I talk about while you're in prison is stuff that hopefully RDAP does read it, because they're going to see that your frame of mind is in the right direction. Now, if there's some strange question you need to ask me and you don't feel comfortable with RDAP or anybody else reading your communication, you can always write a letter home. And when you write those letters home, outgoing mail is not read. So if you write a letter home or you write a letter to me, then I can address it that way and find a way to answer you incognito like. There were times where I had to deal with things like that too. Okay, somebody got raped in RDAP. Tell us more. Do BB or whatever the name is there. That would be a first. That would definitely be a first. Chris, I appreciate it. I appreciate you guys trying to get Jesse. You know, we just got to let Jesse do things his way. Sometimes, you know, people just don't want to. They just don't want to get the help, or they don't want to ask for it. The anxiety and fear is just too overwhelming. So we're not going to spend, you know, and this is the same thing in RDAP. When guys don't want to open up, eventually we have to move on to the people that are willing to open up and the people that do want the help. And hopefully Jesse can just get help from listening. But if he's not willing to do it by now, guys, you know, he's telling us he still has trouble opening up, and he's been in the room for a length of time. So hopefully Jesse will come around. But let's don't spend the whole night. You know, we can't help everybody, right? We're all here to better ourselves, help one another at the same time. But in order to help somebody, people have to want the help. I can't make you do it. Nobody else can make you do it. So hopefully, Jesse, you get what it is that you need so you can prepare. But I do hope you call. All right. So every day, Keith. All right. So Keith called me today, guys, and this is kind of where the topic of the video came from, positivity. So Keith called me today and was just a little bit worried. You know, there's some stuff going on with his case, and it just got him a little worried because it's some last minute type stuff. And the details aren't so important as the frame of mind that a lot of you are in. You know, we're kind of going down this direction, and once we get going in a direction, we feel like that's going to maintain that. And what you guys have to be ready for is curveballs. You got to expect the unexpected. Things can happen until you're sentenced that may create anxiety and chaos in your life. And how you deal with that is what's really, really important. So today, when Keith called me or shot me a text, I don't remember how the communication started, text me or called me or something to that effect. Basically, he was just telling me he's had, you know, a really stressful day, and he was getting a little bit worried, and we talked about it. And by the end of the conversation, not that I gave him the meaning to life or answered the questions, just reminding him that, hey, you know, what you're doing right now is exactly what you need to be doing. So think about this. Think about when you guys first started going through this situation, before you found the YouTube channel, before you found ways to deal with the anxiety, before you had any idea of what actually federal prison was really possibly going to be like. Even though you guys don't know exactly what it's going to be like, you have a very good picture created in your mind from all of this stuff. Sorry, reading this numbskull's message over here. rdapdan got me raped. Okay. So, sorry, it's funny to me. All right. So many of you are going through this and you didn't know how to deal with the anxiety and the stresses before. Now, the one thing I've told a lot of you when we speak on the phone, and I've even probably brought it up in these videos, is these videos, calling me, hiring me, just watching video after video, talking to other people, is not going to cure your anxiety. It's all meant to help you deal with it and process it so you can alleviate the anxiety, but it's always going to be there a little bit. I mean, let's not lie to ourselves and think we're going to find some crazy way just to release all of the anxiety. It's impossible. So when I was talking to Keith, and Keith was like, man, you know, I just don't want to be negative and this and that. It's like, dude, you can't be hard on yourself because you're going to have a bad day. But what you decided to do with that bad day was pick up your phone and call me. Regardless whether you're a client or just somebody that's watching that needs an ear to listen to or talk to, all we did was communicate about what's coming next, stuff that you already knew. We didn't give you any grandiose answer. You just processed it, got to talk to somebody about it, and felt better. That's where you guys need to understand is using the tools that you're learning right now, picking up these tools, Not letting stuff build up is one of the biggest keys to your success on how you're going to stay positive. You can't stay positive if you're not sharing information. And, not to dig into Jessie, but Jessie, this is kind of, even though this video wasn't designed to just cater to you, but it is kind of explaining to you right now also that you are not going to stop being negative. You're not going to stop having anxiety. You're not going to stop worrying. You're not going to stop freaking out if you don't reach out and talk to people. And to use some bullshit defense and excuse saying, well, I don't want people to know my business. Well, fuck. I mean, you're going to prison. Everybody's going to know your business. I don't care what your crime is. I don't care if you murdered somebody. I don't care if you're a sex offender. It doesn't matter what your crime is. You're going to have to deal with it face to face at some point. And it's better that you do it on your terms. And this isn't just to Jessie, guys. This is to everybody. It's better if you do it on your terms. If you decide when you're going to have these conversations. The same reason why I say every Monday, you should be emailing and calling your attorney. Unless you already know the outcome. You've already been sentenced and now you're just kind of in chill mode. Like Mr. Kevin over here, just relaxing, getting ready to go on his vacation, his camping trip. Me and Kevin are both going camping this week. So yeah. But if you haven't gotten to that point yet where you don't know what's going on and you're still like terrified every time you see your attorney call, that's because you've got this small piece of false reality that thinks somehow this can all go away. And most of you, the other 99% of you, knows that it absolutely cannot. So once you control that little 1 or 2% fear you have and you say, you know what, I know this shit's not going to fucking go away. So instead of me stressing, once Thursday, Friday hits, we're like, woo, time to party. My attorney's not going to call me. Nothing's going to happen. I know that I'm good for this weekend. I'm going to kick back, have a great weekend. Sunday night rolls around. You start thinking about, all right, Monday, you wake up Monday morning, you check your phone. You hear your phone ring. You're like, I wonder if that's my attorney. You kind of get a little nervous sweat going. You look at your phone. You're like, oh, thank God it's not. I'm telling you, if you reach out and call your attorney and send them an email every Monday, whatever's going to happen is going to happen. Your attorney might know something Monday, but he's busy and doesn't get back to you. So you call him and he's like, hey, Kevin, I'm glad you called. Actually, I spoke to the prosecutor, this and this and this. And it's like, ah, fuck. But now you know, and it's a little bit of that much closer to the ultimate goal of getting through this. So you have to be willing to be a willing participant. You can't sit back. You can't stick your head in the sand. You can't pretend like it doesn't exist. You can't hold it all in and bottle it all up. Because what happens when you sit there and shake a soda and you don't release any pressure? Eventually that shit explodes and it goes everywhere and makes a big mess. So avoid the mess. Pick up the phone. Use your tools. Use your uplinks. Whoever you have that you feel comfortable talking to. It doesn't have to be me. It could be a friend. That's really all you're looking for is an ear to listen and not judge and not lie to you at the same time. Not tell you, oh, it's going to be okay. They're not going to sentence you to prison. Because that's what, honestly, some people might really think that because they don't honestly understand how the prison works. So if you don't understand how prison works, then you're going to deal with situations like people that really don't think you're going to go to prison. And part of you wants to believe that person. But most of you, the other 90%, does know that, hey, that's not true. I'm going to go to prison and I got to deal with it. So anyway, guys, being positive throughout your day, week by week, doesn't mean you're not allowed to have a bad moment, a bad day, a bad hour. It happens to me all the time. Happened to me. I told you guys about it the other day on... What day was that? That was, what holiday did we just have? Cinco de Mayo. Cinco de Mayo. I was dealing with my kids and plane tickets and stuff wasn't working out too well, kind of getting frustrating. And it was really kind of like, fuck. And I got mad for a minute and I almost allowed it to ruin my night. But I had to go back to my tools and I had to sit there and think, man, all this stuff that I talked to you guys about, here I am having a bad moment and I'm not using the stuff that I talk about all day long. So I decided to nip it in the bud right there, walk outside, make a couple phone calls, and fix it to the best of my ability, even if it's not the outcome I want. I just needed to do something in order to process and move forward. So sometimes just doing something action-based that's dealing with the issue at hand, man, it can make it feel so much better. All right, let's read what this kooky guy is in here talking about. Work out and eat. Do what I did, you will get raped. What's this guy mumbling about here? Don't listen to this. You're fucked either way. Start working out. So, where did you go to prison? Do BB? We're going to entertain Do BB for a minute. Something tells me this guy might be a loyal Big Herc fan, possibly. What do you guys think about that? You think this might be a Big Herc fan? Turn him off? What's the vote in the room? Turn him off or let him ramble? What do you guys want to do? I'm good with either way. As long as he's not being nasty and, he's in here wanting to talk shit. Okay, we got one for block. Incognito for, okay, I know she wants me to block him. All right, man, looks like you're going to get blocked out of the room. He's giving me advice, I guess. Yeah, he's giving you advice. Oh, he went to state. He went to fake prison. He didn't go to real prison. We're going to have to cut this guy off because he went to fake prison. All right, buddy. Talk to you later. Come back to us when you go to real prison and you know how it really goes. All right, he's blocked, fellers, ladies and gentlemen. I kind of enjoy when they come in the room, and it means the channel's growing. When you got people coming in your room that don't like you and they're wasting their time to come in here and say things like that, it's like, man, that is insane. Isn't that insane? Could you imagine sitting on somebody's channel? Like, I like all the channels I watch. I like Big Herc. I like Joe After Prison. I like Justin Perperny. I like Michael Santos. I like all these shows, so I watch them. But could you imagine man, that blind is nailing me right there. I've got we're just going to have to deal with the line on my face. It's my new prison tat. There we go. But it's just crazy that people will spend that much time and effort on something just to try to, I don't know. Very strange. Very strange indeed. So he's done been blocked. So you guys are picking up what I'm trying to say over here? It's not rocket science. There is no rocket science to this whole process, guys. It's as simple as staying focused, involving yourself in your own situation, whether it be your case, dealing with your attorney, asking your attorney questions, and if you don't understand what he's answering you, keep asking it, and have him re-explain it and break it down to a different way until you get the grasp on what's happening. Did you get colds or sick a lot being around that many people? Great question, Juan Carlos. Juan Carlos asked me if I got sick a lot and how bad, did I get sick and how bad did I get sick around being around all these other people? So I did. I got a nasty cold, flu, whatever you want to call it. Cold sweats, couldn't sleep, in the middle of the night just breaking out sweating, super tired, pounding headache, and it lasted a good solid fucking week, and it was so aggravating, and you're going to, you can't avoid it. You're I don't care how much meds you stack up on, all you're going to do is you're going to prolong it, and you're better just to get it and get it out of the way. Because once I got it twice. One time was it felt like death. And the second one was it was like a 24-hour little thing, scratchy throat, a little bit of a headache, a little bit tired, and then it bounced out of me. But that first one, terrible. Couldn't do anything. Completely shut me down. Yeah, you go to see the doctor, but there's nothing. I mean, what does a doctor honestly do for a cold? They tell you to take medicine. So you can buy, you take some Tylenol for the headaches. I mean, they're not going to give you anything real. They're not going to give you like Z-Packs or antibiotics unless you have a serious infection. But really all I could do was sleep, drink a lot of water, try to, and how much sleeping. Some people can sleep all day long if you let them. Like they will lay in their bunks, stay in their bunks, never come out of their bunks except when they have to. I'm not like that. I can't do that at home. I couldn't do it in prison. Come 6 or 7 o'clock in the morning, even if I didn't have to do anything, I was up and I couldn't go back to sleep. Sometimes I would put my makeshift curtains because I had a bottom bunk, so I would hang towels from the top bunk down, so it created curtains to create like a little dark cave, and I would sit in there and read, but I couldn't sleep, and my back gets real stiff if I lay down too long, so it did not work for me to just lay in bed all day, even when I was sick. That's what made it more frustrating, is I was like, fuck, if I could just sleep through this, I'd be way better, but I couldn't. But people deal with stress different ways, man. People deal with anxiety different ways. Some people, you could tell them till you're blue in the face the complete recipe on how to avoid prolonged stress and anxiety, and they will do the opposite. There's nothing you can really do. You got to remember, guys, you can't help everybody. Your goal can't be to go to prison and try to fix people. You can find like-minded people that sometimes just need a little pick-me-up, but most of their life, or most of their time that they're there, they're in a positive, go-forward type of a mentality. And sometimes you'll see somebody rattle or shake, just like you might yourself. But if you know you're that type of person and somebody gives you some positive information, sometimes that's all you need to turn yourself around. Like that's what Keith said today. He's like, thanks, man. Sometimes I just need to hear that. It's not something he didn't know. It's not brand new information. It's a reminder of common sense that sometimes we forget. Common sense really for most people should be called uncommon sense, because most of us, we don't use it. Like things that are common sense to us, we do the opposite sometimes, and it's frustrating. Let me read this message real quick. I think it's like, getting sentenced on July 28th, probably 63 to 71 months. How much time am I looking at realistically? Pretty sure I'm getting in RDAP. Already did state time. Feds wanted 3 years, waited 3 years to indict. Ouch, Evan. Sorry to hear that, my man. Let's do some quick math here for Evan. So Evan, let's use the 71 months for the worst case scenario. So 71 months. So before you take off your RDAP or your halfway house, you want to deduct your good time first, Evan. So that may be where you're not sure on, right? So 71 months, you're just going to multiply that times 0.85 to figure out what your good time is. So 71 times 0.85. So before halfway house or RDAP, just on your good time alone, on 70 months, brings you down to about 60.33 months. So that knocks off a year right there, good time alone. Okay? Now, let's say you do RDAP and you pass, you get the full year off, minus 12 months for RDAP, 48 months, and you're going to automatically get the 6 months, minus 6 months for halfway house because you took RDAP. That puts you at 42 months. If you go through the proper channels and you know what you're doing, or you contact me and try to use me for my services, and you get the additional 6 months, which would give you 12 months halfway house. So you get the 12 months RDAP and 12 months halfway house. So minus another 6 months for the additional 6. That would put you at 36 months, worst case scenario, best case scenario. So 36 months, best case scenario on the 70 months. Obviously, if you get a lesser sentence, it's going to be less time. So if you have any questions on how I did that calculation, Evan, just shoot me a message back in here, and I'll redo. I won't do the math for you again, but I'll tell you the formula for the equation if I didn't make sense. So has everybody got that? Everybody clear on how to calculate your prison sentence, good time, halfway house, RDAP? Everybody got that? Evan got you. Okay, cool. All right, Evan. Glad that helped you out. But just remember, Evan, and you said you're pretty sure you're going to get into RDAP. I'm assuming you've already done your PSR and you've already had your PSR interview, I'm assuming. Jesse, almost everybody in here has been pretty good guys, so you gotta stop thinking in that way. Good things happen or bad things happen to good people every day, man. Just because you're going to prison doesn't make you a bad guy. It's opening your eyes to the reality that not just murderers and rapists go to prison. There's a whole other gambit of people that fall into that. Do you guys know what an antlion is? Antlion traps. I don't know if you guys have them where you live, but in the ground there will be a funnel. Looks like an upside down anthill where there's like a funnel going into the ground. And it's usually only about maybe that deep. It's a little funnel, and and what happens is when ants will walk through it, there's a little animal at the bottom of that little sand pit, and it's called an antlion. And he'll actually reach up and grab the ant and pull him under the ground. I'm telling you, man, we fall into these pits, we make our mistakes, and the best thing we can do is stop fucking crying about it and saying, but I'm a good guy. And everyone makes mistakes. Why don't they? They're not. It could be. Listen to yourself. You are self-defeating thoughts. You're talking about things that you can't change. I get it. Why don't they understand that? Because they don't. You don't need to understand why they don't. You just know that they don't. Because there's money in it. Whatever the reasons are for locking up people in the federal system, there's money, right? There's money in it. There's all kinds of... They have their reasons. If they didn't have their reasons, they wouldn't be doing it. So you just have to understand it is what it is, and what can you do now going forward to minimize whatever happens next. Minimize your time. Find a better way to deal with your time. Positivity is the absolute key. Because even if you have, let's say you don't get any time off or anything, you don't get RDAP, you don't get any additional halfway house, and you got to do the full 85% of your sentence, or maybe more. Maybe you get in trouble and lose some of your good time, and you end up serving more than the 85%. If you have the right attitude, you will get through it. If your attitude sucks, it's going to be a long fucking road, and it's going to be depressing, and you're going to hate every minute of it. So you have to change your thinking. You have to. There's no other way to do it. And to sit there and say, I can't, you don't want to. You'd rather sit there and be miserable. And that's why I say we can't focus the whole show on that, because some people just like to be miserable. It's easier to be negative and miserable than it is to realize how easy it is to be positive and upbeat. And if you can't do that, Jesse, we can't help you. We want you in the room, because maybe at some point we're planting some little seeds that will sprout while you're in prison, and you'll go, this is what they were talking about. Boom, I get it. I wish I had done something different. But from that point forward, you'll be able to make positive choices. So by all means, we want you in the room. Just, complaining isn't going to help you. If you're going in, then you need to prep. I'm just reading some messages here. JQ, is that JQ? JQ might be new. And that's easy to say, do the crime, do the time. But unless you've been there, and I'm not saying you have or haven't, different people, different strokes, people were involved in things. And it's not like one day we wake up and we go, you know what, I'm going to go break the law today and hope I don't get caught and go to prison. Usually doesn't work that way, at least not for me and not for a lot of the people I speak to. Most people I've met had great intentions, grew up in halfway decent lives, had good opportunities, and somewhere along the line started making little poor decisions that at first weren't a decision that would lead them to prison. And those little decisions kept growing and growing and growing. And then one day you turn around and look and you're like, how did I get here? So I do get what you're saying, JQ. And at the same time, Jesse, don't think that you're screwed either. Just realize it might take you a little bit longer to get it. It might take you till you get to prison and see that it's not that bad of a place. And it's really not, guys. For the camps and the lows, it's not the craziness where there's wig splitting going on and there's raping and there's, shanks coming out of everywhere, getting stabbed through people's throats. You're not going to see that stuff in the camps and the lows. It just doesn't happen. I mean, it might happen once in a blue moon, but it does not happen on a regular basis. So the good thing that you guys have to think about is no matter how you can, dude, I got a 5K1. I'm not hiding from it. I have a 5K1 JQ. So, I mean, you can see my paperwork. You can go look me up online. All you got to do is go type in Daniel Wise, Savannah, Georgia, pain clinic. And the whole story comes up right there. So, hate to burst your bubble, JQ, but what you see is what you get, my man. JQ's yelling at me all in caps locks. My God. We got a gangster typer. I love it when people get all like gangster with their typing. Their Twitter, what is that? Their Twitter fingers. Calm your Twitter fingers down. Do your homework first before you start running out the mouth. It's that easy. Haters gonna hate, right? But we love haters because that means we're growing. We're growing. 5K1 is when you cooperate with the federal government for potential downward departure. So when you do that, so let's say you're involved in a conspiracy and they say, hey, if you work with us and you tell us everything you know, about other people, about how the crime went down, basically if there's anybody to tell on that's not wanting to own up to it and you tell on them, if you do all of this for the federal government, they can give you a 5K1, which can help you get a reduced sentence. Now, 5K1s come in different shapes, different sizes. There's no guarantee that you're going to get one. There's no guarantee that you're going to have to tell on anybody. It depends. Everybody in your case might take a plea. Like in my case, everybody took the plea except for the doctor. And we didn't have to, when we testified, we didn't have to testify against the doc because the doctor was owning up to it. He was just saying what was being done wasn't illegal. And the federal government was saying it was illegal. So when I got up on the stand, what I was saying was I knew that what we were doing was illegal. I didn't have to specifically say the doctor knew because there's no way for me to know that. They were just interested in me saying that because at the end of the day, look, people were driving from Kentucky and Ohio to Georgia. That's a long fucking drive. So I can lie to myself and say that, but it wasn't my responsibility. I wasn't the one writing the scripts. I can make a million excuses. At the end of the day, I knew what was going on, so I had to deal with it. Simple as that. Simple as that. So you're a snitch. Yes, Twitter fingers. But if JQ cared that much, he would have his own YouTube channel. But instead, he's here on mine, helping my ratings grow and proffer. JQ, this annoying sound is for you. So anyway, guys. All right. So we'll go ahead and get rid of JQ now. He probably just went on and created a new name. Man, I love how these guys with 0 lives just pop in and out of the room. Probably doesn't know what the inside of a jail cell looks like. Nothing. And they just pop in. But they're welcome. Keep them coming. All right. So we have now blocked JQ. I think. All right. JQ's blocked. All right, guys. So, hey, that's two in one night. That's like some kind of a boundary we broke, right? It's like we did this together. We made this happen. We are now bringing in the trolls. You know, I wouldn't even know what a troll was if it wasn't for South Park. How many of you know what a troll is because of South Park? I bet a lot of you. Gotcha, Jessie. You can't let people look. Just listen. Look at this as a lesson, guys. In real life, There's no fucking ignore button. There's no block. In real life, if people want to run their mouth and talk shit, you have to listen to it, right? Because there's no block button. And if you're in prison and you got somebody in there running their mouth, you've got no choice because you live with them. So you have to learn how to deal with this stuff and learn how it doesn't matter. If it affects you, it's because you're allowing it to affect you. Jessie, I could sit here and say, you're being a whiny brat, you're being a baby, you're not being a man, you need to man up and get on the phone. And if anything I'm saying is bothering you, that's your fucking problem. I didn't touch you, I didn't lay a hand on you, I didn't physically hurt you. So if my words can offend you that easy, you really need to take a look into your glass porcelain shell and realize you're a lot fucking stronger than you give yourself credit for. Since we were little kids, our parents used to tell us sticks and stones will break our bones, but words will never hurt us. How many people do you see getting shot in the fucking face over something stupid because they allowed their ego to get rattled? If you allow your ego to get rattled because some schmuck comes into a room and runs his mouth, you have such a long, hard road ahead of you. Ugh. And I was there. I was that guy. I wanted to fight everybody in growing up as a kid. You say something about my mom, that's it. You say something about my family, that's it. When I first, because I had my kids when I was young, if you talk shit about my kids, it's almost like I was looking for reasons to get angry and violent. And what I had to realize through RDAP, that all of this allows me to potentially put myself right back into risky ass situations. Like, there was this guy that he's a nice guy. He was in the halfway house with me. Nice guy, but he's into some, I can't look, I don't know for sure because I don't associate and hang out with him, but I have a feeling he does some shady stuff. He's always posting stuff on Facebook that seems like he's got money clips with like thousands of dollars in it. And he's a carpet installer is his day work. Works for a company installing carpet, and he's making, I don't know, 15, 16, 17, 18, 20, but whatever he's making, he's not making enough money to be rolling around with $1,000 clips in his pocket. So when he's posting stuff like this online, showing all the shit that he's buying, his brand new Jordans and his brand new watch and his brand new hat, it's like, dude, who are you trying to impress? And then he'll shoot me a text, hey man, you want to go out and do that? I'm like, nah, can't, dude, I'm kind of busy, got things going on. It's just not my crowd. It's not who I want to be associating with, because I feel that there's a shot that he's into something that's not honest, and I don't want to be there when stuff goes down, because then you're just fucking guilty by association. So you guys really have to be able to pick and choose who you associate with now, in prison, and most importantly, out of prison. Juan Carlos, do they strip search you after every visitation? Yes. Drop and cough. Spread those cheeks. Cough again. Lift up your nutsack. They do. But you get used to it, and it's quick. It's not like the guards are like sitting there like, ooh. It's quick in and out. Jessie, you're not letting us down. Whether you call me or you don't call us, it's not going to look. You're not going to change anybody's life in here, right? You're not going to make Todd's life any worse. You're not going to make Kimberly's life any worse if you don't pick up the phone. You're only making your life worse. So as much as we want you to pick up the phone, because this channel is designed of people helping people. Community is method. We want you to, but at the end of the day, if you don't, we are not going to lose a lot of sleep over it, because there's so many people that do want the help that's where the energy gets spent. The energy can't afford to get spent too much on somebody that's not showing progress that they want help. So you've just got to keep on turning. Thank you, Curtis. That's awesome. I'm glad you just subscribed. That's one of the best things that somebody can do to show me their appreciation for these rants that I put out 3 days a week. No, I know they're more than rants, but I I don't come on here to get glorification or to get all kinds of crazy credit. I do this because I like doing it, and I'm kind of addicted to it, to be honest. Like, oh, don't forget, guys, I'm going camping tomorrow in another city, and I do not know exactly how long we're staying. I know we're staying for at least Thursday night and Friday night. I don't know for sure what time we're going to be coming back Saturday, so there is an off chance we won't do the video on Saturday. That would be the first one that we missed, damn it. But the weather's beautiful, and my girlfriend's family is going camping, and this is the first time that I've met a lot. I've been with her for 10 years, and I have not met her entire family. I've never met her dad. I've never met a lot of her cousins. Granted, we've always lived on the East Coast in Florida. They lived on the West Coast over here in Washington, so it hasn't been completely like easy to go. So I haven't met a lot of her family, so I'm going to get to meet her dad and some of her cousins and stuff. So that's going to be kind of neat. And we're bringing Einstein with us. We're going to drop Oliver off at her mom's house because I won't be able to relax if Oliver's there wandering around because there's bigger dogs, and Oliver's kind of like, he's half retarded and he's special, and I would be devastated if something happened to him. So little Oliver gets to go hang out at Granny's house and sleep on the couch all day. Kevin Chase, this might be your last. What day do you leave again, Kevin? I have it on your file, but I don't have it here in front of me. John loves Einstein. Do you know who Einstein is, John? Have you seen Einstein yet? I think you've seen him in other videos, I believe. And I'm just waiting for Kevin to respond here because these messages pop in and out so damn fast. Monday. Holy moly. That is crazy. How are you feeling, man? Just ready. I know I've already asked you that, but as you get closer and closer. But dude, it's going to be... And where are you going again? Kevin, which prison did you ended up getting redesignated to? A lot of guys are going to Sheridan. Sheridan seems to be like the hot place on the planet right now. Don't get poison ivy. Not as nervous as I was before, just more anxious. Elkton, that's right. Going to Elkton, Ohio. Oh, man. So, Kevin, we all know that you're an amazing writer. Your letters were outstanding. So I want to make sure. Are you going to be willing to blog onto the site once you're there? I mean, you can't blog from there, but you can send me the emails and I can post for you, and then post responses. I'd really, really like to. The awesome thing is Todd's going to be at Sheridan. There's a lot of guys at Sheridan right now. So if I got Todd in Sheridan and you over in Elkton, if you guys are blogging, and I had the site specifically designed to have multiple bloggers. Juan Carlos, I know we're going to get you to blog because you like writing books. He doesn't write personal narrative. He writes books. Talked about sweeping up a lot of sunshine and only working 10 minutes or 2 minutes. Could you have been pulled up for that in RDAP? Nope, because that was what the actual job required. And the thing is here's the difference. Juan, when you're in a low, okay? When you're in a low, typically there's a lot more inmates. There's not just a couple hundred. There's several thousand. There was about, at any given moment, between 27 and 3,500 inmates on the compound that I was at. So there's way more inmates than jobs. So a lot of these jobs were like created just to give an inmate some kind of a job to have an opportunity to make some kind of money so they could buy commissary. So I specifically looked for that job, and they couldn't pull me up for that because I never, like if a guard said, hey, you're done, go ahead and cut out early, I can't get in trouble for leaving work early because I was allowed to leave early. You get pulled up for, let's say I said I went to work, Because there was a lot of guys that had the same job as me that wouldn't go. They would just go look for the guard that has a sign-off sheet, and they'd go to the guard and say, hey, I worked, and never actually picked up a broom. Those guys were not in RDAP. They definitely would have gotten pulled up if they were in RDAP and did that. But as long as you're fulfilling the requirements of your job, you'll be fine. But if you're at a camp, chances are you're not going to be able to have that kind of a job just because everyone's going to have a job at a camp. There's going to be a need for everyone to be working. So you may have a cushy job, but it's going to require more than 10 minutes a day, twice a week. You know what's crazy? I spill stuff all the time. Like literally, I'm always spilling stuff on my shirt. Like I have a hole in my lip. I haven't spilt one time. I don't think anyway. I haven't spilt one time during any of these live streams. Yes. Prison jobs suck? Some do, some don't. Some are easy. Some, it's great. Like there's law library jobs. My buddy Jaber worked in the law library, and he just kind of sat there all day at a desk. And people would come in and he would sign them in and out from the law library computers. Like if they wanted to go into the law library to look up cases or working on their own case, appeals, they'd go in the law library to do that. And he would sign them in, sign them out, keep notes. If they had a question, he would look something up for them. But, some jobs can suck. It depends. Depends if you need money. Like if having a job is going to be super important to your ability to be able to like purchase commissary, you might want to get a job in like facilities or something like that, or maintenance. And those jobs can tend to be a little bit more laborious to where you're working a little bit harder. But, I wouldn't say they suck. They're pretty much like the same type of jobs you'd have on the street. A lot of these jobs, there's guys that work in the movie rooms where their jobs are to sign in and out DVDs all day. There's guys that work in the guitar room. Their job's to sign in and out guitars. There's all kinds of jobs. Just depends what job you want. You gotta, if it's a popular job, a lot of other people are going to want it. So you're gonna have to like get to know somebody that can kind of work you in the system. But for me, if I hadn't taken RDAP, I wouldn't have taken a job. Because I didn't have to get a job because there was plenty of people out there willing to take the jobs that were available. So I wouldn't have taken one. I had my commissary was all straight, so I wasn't worried about that. I wasn't concerned about making $15 a month. I was more interested in taking classes, bettering my mind. I'm a hard worker in real life. Like I love to go to work, but I was fulfilling that need with classes and studying, and I was working, but I wasn't getting paid I was running a credit class a couple days a week, helping guys understand credit reports, reading credit reports. Some guys wanted to start their own credit restoration business. Some guys wanted to just know how to fix their own credit. So I spent a lot of time running in education class, running a credit repair class, but they don't pay you for that because it's your own thing that you get approved. So I was very, very busy. What's up, Will? Just saw you pop in there. What's up, buddy? Good evening. Might need prison job. Do they have crews that work with DOT? I don't think the feds. Are you asking if? Ask your question again, Evan. I'm not sure if I understand. Do they have crews that work with DOT or the county? I don't know. Different camps might have different opportunities for jobs because there's a lot of the camps, a lot of the jobs that you do, they're not on the compound. A lot of those jobs can be off the compound somewhere. Like there was guys that would like clean, maintenance and stuff and cleaning up areas and lawn maintenance, and you're out by Wendy's and McDonald's cutting grass out in the open, but it's not like Department of Transport. It's not like It's not like DOT where you see the cleanup crews on the street. That's usually state jobs. Feds don't really do those type of jobs. We're too good for those kind of jobs. Not really. I just think for some reason it's different. Kevin. What did Kevin ask back there? Boxer's brief. Sometimes I need support so much stuff doesn't bounce around. They have, just so you know, Kevin, like especially when you're working out and stuff, they sell those. They're like bicycle shorts that people wear underneath their shorts, like lycras almost. I think they're called lycras, something like that. They're like real tight underwear. I used to wear them when I would do like ab class or yoga class, because you're laying on your back a lot and your legs are up in the air. And when your legs are up in the air, your basketball shorts will tend to like slide down, and you know you got boxers on, but you don't want your stuff kind of falling out, or you don't want to give somebody a shot across the room from you. So wearing the lycras would, you know, contain everything. If you catch my drift, your fellas will be okay in the lycras. Oh, too late for me to ignore it now, Kevin. I read that question. We gotta, you know, next week we're gonna do an episode straight on how to keep your stuff packaged correctly. No, we're not. Look, there's all kinds of crazy questions like that, and the reason why, look, there is a reason I do not do a lot of videos on those type of things, because I already know the answers are going to be met the minute you walk into prison. It's really, they're not giant concerns. They're just things that, you know why you're starting to think about this stuff, Kevin? You know why you're starting to worry about that? Is because the anxiety of going to prison is now settling. You're not, it doesn't sound so bad. Now you're like, what kind of pants am I going to wear when I go work out? Like those are your questions now. That's a good thing. When you start having questions like, what am I going to eat for dinner? What am I going to, you know, now you're getting into like the mode where you're like, you've accepted the reality. You're looking forward to it. You're just embracing everything that's coming next. And yeah. So good stuff. That means progress. All right, we've got 9 minutes left. Trying to keep this one to an hour. Bathroom and shower time. Do you get to decide when you go to the shower? More or less, yes. I mean, there are certain times that you can't go, but for the most part, there's several opportunities throughout the day to shower and use the bathroom. And I mean, you can use the bathroom pretty much all day, every day, unless, you know, stand-up count time is pretty much the only time you can't. But showers, you know, for the most part, they're pretty open, because look, a lot of guys, whenever they've got free time, they go outside and work out. And no one's going to go work out if they can't come in and shower when they're done. That's just, it's not like that. Yeah, Todd's like off the grid. We're lucky he's on here. Todd. Oh my God. Oh yeah, cable TV. But clearly you've either watched other episodes or you didn't pay too much attention to. Man, just so you guys know, I bought special powder at the makeup store to make my face not shiny, and man, I don't know, I'm still looking like a fucking spotlight. Evan, there's plenty of TV to watch, okay? They've got DirecTV, and they've got some pretty good packages. There's a lot of options. They used to have things like Showtime and stuff, but they no longer have that. But I mean, everything else, every other major show that's watched, Walking Dead, all the Housewives shows, sports, all that stuff is aired. Just remember, most altercations take place over a TV. So just keep that in mind. You know, there's usually multiple TVs going, and most people will be able to find something they like on a TV and just deal with it. But try to really minimize your time. Like, earn your TV time. Have that one show a week that you want to watch, and make sure you do all of the other things that you know you should be doing. Programming, classing, if you're taking RDAP, make sure you're doing all of those things, getting your exercise in, because this is an opportunity that a lot of you will probably never have again to really focus deep, hard on your mind, your body, everything that can change the negatives about you and turn them into positives. This is an opportunity that most of you will never have again. Hopefully, most of you never go back into this situation. I can sleep comfortable now. In the state we had ABC. Oh yeah, state's different, man. State's got no money. State doesn't spend money like the feds do. There's hands down, a lot of you that have either done state time or you spent a minute or two in a county jail. You're freaking out about prison because that's what you're comparing it to. That's the only thing you've known, right? So you're thinking, oh my God, I can't do 3 years like this, 4 years like that. Dude, where you guys are going is nowhere near state or county likelihood. It's light years ahead of that. It's the only thing it's missing is women and menus to order takeout. And even some prisons, they deliver pizza to some prisons. So I don't know which ones, but I can find out. But I don't want you guys to get all like, oh, I can order pizza when I get there. Chances are you're not going to a prison you can order pizza, but there are prisons that do it. Couldn't wait to get to prison after. Yeah, when you sit in county long enough, it's like just get this over with and let me go to where I need to go because this is horrible. Yeah, getting used to not having a cell phone, that took me a minute. Not just like I want my cell phone, but like I would literally feel my leg vibrate, like my phone's in my pocket vibrating, and I would reach for it. I'm like, God, your phone's not there. I did that for a very long time. Like, we do not know how connected we are until that is a withdrawal that most of you will feel the side effect for at least a week or two. And it's funny. Yesterday, Shelly's mom locked herself out of her phone somehow. Like, literally, she's got a Galaxy S7 Edge through Verizon, locked it out, doesn't know the email that she has associated to it, doesn't know like any of the passwords. And Verizon said, look, unless you can tell us what email was used with that phone, we cannot unlock it for you. So she was completely screwed. I think she just got it fixed today, finally. But there is a level of withdrawals, not having your phone. Not being able to access the internet. Look at me, I'm talking to you guys. I'm like, ooh, let me check. My girlfriend gets on me so bad. Yeah, today, guys, man, it is like going camping. Apparently there's no service out there. And I'm like, oh, how am I going to check my Facebook? How am I going to check my Instagram? How am I going to get likes? But it's a good dose to like get away from that stuff for a minute. It really, really is. Today I decided, I wanted to go work out, but I didn't want to do the typical, like, go to the gym. I wanted to go outside. And, they got this little spot, like they got a YMCA down here by me. And behind the YMCA, they've got like this outside area that it's just really, really cool. And you can do some and nobody uses it. Like when I go out there, there's never anybody out there. It's insane. But I love it because it gives you the ability to, here, I think I took a picture and I'll show you guys somewhere. But when you can go out in nature and do things, you can really, really, really enjoy. Here, I'll show you guys the picture. So this is the outside area where nobody goes. You've got this awesome hill. Oh, stupid light. So you got this awesome hill back there where you can do your hill sprints. You've got these big giant tires that you can do all kinds of crazy exercises with. I was doing box jumps on them and I ended up throwing up. At the end of my workout. It was so hot outside. And I pushed and pushed and pushed to the point where I got sick and threw up. And that's a good thing. That's, you're getting your money. You're going to hear that a lot when you get in prison. Get that money. That means when you're working out, don't quit. Push yourself until you have nothing left in the tank and you're getting your money. So getting money. Oh, how much time we got? Man, we got like a minute, half a minute. Let me see if we got any more questions in here. Oh, Kevin's asking something about cell phone in your pocket. Every time I went to county, I had to go. Yeah, that's what I was talking about. You got that ghost vibration in your pocket, thinking the cell phone's there. Mind plays crazy tricks on you, for sure. When you apply, how do they call you for an interview? Dan, you talk about the exercise classes, spinning, yoga, machines. Man, they have, Keith, I don't even know where to begin. Like, camps usually have a little bit less, but they still have a lot. Like, I mean, you've got cardio machines, like the ones you see in the gym. You know, there's usually a good row machines. You've got steppers. You've got other kinds of little machines. There's usually no like Smith machine. Usually there's no weights. But then you've got classrooms that are set up for exercise classes like yoga. A lot of circuit classes. There's a lot of circuit classes, guys, where it's like an hour class, and it's like I don't know if you guys are familiar with like HIIT training, where it's like 30 seconds off, 10 seconds, or 30 seconds on, 10 seconds off, something to that effect. So for an hour straight, there will be, it's like, all right, burpees for 30 seconds. You're doing burpees, 10-second break. All right, air squats. It's where you go into a squat and you jump up into the air. 30 seconds of that. All right, 30-second planks, 30-second planks, 30-second, and then 10-second break. 30-second push-ups. There'll be probably maybe 8 to 10 different exercises. You'll go through each one, and then you repeat. And you keep doing that for a solid hour for 30 seconds on, 10 seconds off. And I'm telling you, unless you guys are into some crazy exercising routines right now, most of you will not make it through your first round. Most of you just won't. That's just a fact of the prison world, the prison workout system. That's what I'm saying. You will never have this opportunity again. I do things now at 38. I'm going to be 39 in a couple of months. I do exercises now that I could not do or even would attempt to do when I was in my 20s. When I first got to prison and I was just walking around, kind of new, not knowing. And I couldn't work out really at all when I first got there because I had this, the surgery was still fresh from when I ripped my bicep off my tendon. So the surgery had been done like 30 days before I went into prison. And it took me several months for that to heal. So I used to watch these exercises. I was just like, what the fuck? How is this even humanly possible for somebody to work out like this? How is it possible? I was terrified. Didn't know where to start. Didn't even know if I wanted to start because I didn't want to like look like a failure, look like I couldn't do it. You know, my ego, whatever it was. And slowly but surely, man, I just, when I left there, when I got there, I was probably in the bottom 1% of workout. Like I was probably like the worst workout guy in the gym. I could do a couple push-ups. I couldn't do a pull-up. You know, I couldn't do a jump squat. I couldn't do a fucking burpee. Forget about it. When I left there, I was in the top 5 to 10% of the entire prison. I was welcome in any car, and what that means is there's different levels of exercise groups of people that run these cars. And they don't just let anybody in their group. If you want to come to the group, you got to show up to the group. You got to push yourself. Doesn't mean you have to do as good as them, but you got to push and not cry and go, oh, I can't do anymore. You got to be willing to endure and throw up and get yelled at and push. And I was that guy. And I was that guy that did it in every class. I took spin class. I took circuit classes. I took push-up classes. I took ab classes. I took pull-up and dip classes. I mean, right now, I can get up and I can do 30 pull-ups straight. Take a 60-second break, get up there and do another 30. I could do 10 sets of that. And it's because I got to a point in prison where I got this high from it, where I was like, this is amazing. I've never felt or looked like this. I didn't look like that when I was 21, 18 years old. Did not look the way I looked in prison. I don't look that way now because real life is kicked back in, but I still maintain. I still push myself. I go out and do exercises that I know are going to whoop my ass. And I'm telling you, you feel amazing when you're done. And guys, you can fight age. You're still going to turn a certain age, but you do not have to feel it. You can do things that you don't think you can do, and prison's going to bring it out of you. So take this experience serious, guys. You're going to live a life that not many people get the opportunity to do, or at least not many people that you know. Shannon. We got Shannon Ford in the room. The famous Shannon Ford. If you guys haven't subscribed to Shannon Ford's channel, go ahead and do so now. She's actually, I think there's still a link to her in my description, if I'm not mistaken. There is. If you go in the description in this video, there is a link to Shannon Ford. Some of you guys are probably already all subscribed to Shannon Ford. She's in here trolling. Are you trolling, Shannon? We just kicked out 2 trolls. You missed them. I love that I know what a troll is now. But the beautiful Shannon Ford is welcome to troll anytime. I feel honored to have Shannon Ford trolling my room. I troll yours from time to time too. Just most of yours are pre-recorded, so I don't get to come in and razz you while you're live. All right, guys, we got any last-minute questions about anything? Did I miss any questions while I was ranting? I need to gain weight, muscle mass. Hopefully I can do that in Elkton. Dude, Kevin, you just got to eat right and find these guys. Look, start doing pull-ups. Don't even touch weights. Pull-ups, dips, and push-ups. Just start with that. Pull-ups, dips, and push-ups. Start with that. And I'm telling you, everything else will come into play. Yes, you're not going to get to become a giant, but I'm telling you, your back will widen out, your chest will widen out, your traps will form. Amazing things will happen from those 3 exercises: pull-ups, dips, and push-ups. If that's all, and do some squats. Don't let your legs stay too skinny. But if you just do those 4 exercises a couple times a week or every day. You will change. Your body will just take off. Prison's the ultimate gym. I've always wanted to open a gym all based on prison workouts. I thought that would be an amazing concept, and I feel like who wouldn't join that gym? Oh, these motherfuckers must know what they're doing. They're straight out of prison. That's right, Edward. We're rolling, man. We're rolling. Shannon's gonna help me get that other 60, huh, Shannon? No filter for the live shows. That's right. Shannon, you got to get out there and do it. Just get out there and do it. You learn a lot about yourself when you go live. You're like, what did I just say? And I can't. No takesy backsies. Well, I appreciate you guys. Shannon's going to help me get the other 60 because she's going to promote me on her channel now. That's right, Shannon. Talking to you. But no, you guys are... what? 6? I need 60 people, Shannon, to get 1,000. Shannon doesn't even know what we're talking about. Shannon has no love for RDAP. If you guys watch Shannon's show, you got to let me know. Is she putting a little plug in for RDAP in there, or is she just leaving me high and dry? Shannon. We're coming for you, Shannon. We're going to infiltrate your channel. All right, guys. I'm literally, like, look at my back right now. I'm wearing an undershirt and this shirt, and I guarantee it, this fucking shirt is wet. Fuck. I need to get like an air-conditioned something. You can't really see it because I'm wearing a dark purple shirt. But, man, I'm hot. I need to go take another shower. You texted me when, Shannon? Just now? Huh. I don't see it. Unless you're talking about you texting me maybe like a different day and I didn't see it. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Hopefully there's no children in the room. I am going to go take another shower and I'm going to go eat some dinner. And you guys let me know. Post. Remember, if you I forgot to do it. If you haven't already texted the word YouTube to phone number 35074, that puts you on a notification list that lets you know when my live videos are getting ready to go minutes before. So it gives you a reminder. So make sure you text the word YouTube to phone number 35074. And Shannon, I will look for your text messages and I will respond. Got no response. You're making me look bad, Shannon. Jeez. Chris, I owe you a response too. And if I owe anybody else a response, just text me. All right, guys. I love every one of you. I hope you guys have an amazing night. Remember, if I'm not on here Saturday, it's because I'm still stuck up in the camping ground somewhere. Kevin, make sure you and I talk. I will give you, you're not leaving until Monday, so even if I don't make it back on Saturday, for the show. You and I will talk Saturday afternoon or Sunday. Just want to make sure you got all of your marbles straight there in your head. I think you do. You sound like you're doing really good because you're really concerned about your balls hanging out of your pants or something. So if you're concerned about tight shorts and that's the only thing you're concerned about right now, that means all the other stuff is history. Harvey, welcome. You're a little late, but hey, man, this is pre-recorded, or it will be recorded, so you can watch it in a few minutes. Anyway, guys, have a great night and go say something nice to somebody. Share this video, subscribe to my channel, all of that good stuff. Like always, you guys rock. Without you, there would be no me. And I love every single one of you. RDAPdan. Peace.